Welcome to Wolfforth. Today I'm going to show you all around Wolfforth, Texas and all the greatness about Wolfforth so that you have an understanding of the differences between Wolfforth and Lubbock, or honestly, kind of co-mingling as the same city as well too. And today we're going to start out at Evie Mae's Barbecue. Evie Mae's is definitely somewhere that you need to check out next time you either visit Lubbock or considering making a move here, because it is by far one of our best barbecue places here in the Lubbock Wolfforth area. Is located in Wolfforth. And so they opened up their brick and mortar in 2016. They moved to in 2015, started a barbecue joint out of a trailer, and it has just skyrocketed from there. Their meats always sell out, so get here early. But also too, they are ranked, very highly ranked in the state of Texas. I know that they're definitely top 10 of best barbecue joints here in the state of Texas. So you definitely want to check it out next time you come and visit. So let's go inside and have some food.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Food was great, drinks were great, cobbler's great. Definitely check it out. But I want to talk a little bit about Wolfforth and why people are moving here. Wolfforth is actually a smaller town. It was established in the 1900s, but has been growing ever since Lubbock has been growing west and southwest. The population in Wolfforth is actually pretty small. Believe it or not, it's less than 10,000 people altogether. So it is growing and booming, and mainly it has to do with all of the growth that's happening in West Lubbock that's pushing on the border of Wolfforth. And so that is causing a lot of people to obviously migrate into this area. Also too, they love the school district of Friendship. And Friendship, as I've mentioned before, is a very, very popular school district here and is also rapidly growing. By 2025, they're going to have open their second high school. And then they just opened their fourth middle school, and then they're opening their ninth elementary school in 2024. So it is growing. Friendship is growing. People are loving Friendship. And actually the enrollment is growing from about 2 to 5% every year, thanks to all of the new construction happening here in Wolfforth. So if you have any questions about Friendship, I also did a video on Friendship schools or all of Lubbock schools as well too, so that way you can kind of take a look to see the other school areas around here. Friendship also caters to West Lubbock, also to Wolfforth. So like I mentioned, Wolfforth is not a very big town. It's actually only about 3 miles long, believe it or not. So not very big, but right where we're at, so this is Evie Mae's, and then right behind us, right over here is where the Harvest is, and then really the majority of a lot of the upland growth is happening off of upland, and it's kind of right between where Target and Sam's. I mean, there's a ton of growth right over in that area, so you're close to a lot of things happening and going on in the Lubbock area. However, I did want to point out a disadvantage of Wolfforth, actually, and it's very surprising, but there is not currently a grocery store here. So inside of the city limits, in the 3-mile radius of Wolfforth, there is not a grocery store. But the map will take you to H-E-B in about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on where you're at in Wolfforth. It's about 8 miles away, give or take. Then we have a Walmart that's about 7 miles away, another like 5 to 10 minutes. And then United or Market Street is at one of our local grocery stores, very similar just to a convenience store, but it is about 7 to 10 minutes away. So if you're used to grocery stores being 7 to 10 minutes away, it's not a crazy big deal. For me, it definitely is not a big deal, especially if you live somewhere in the city of Lubbock where you're also 10 minutes from the grocery store. But it's crazy to think that there actually is not one here locally. But an advantage is just being in a small town. They really do highlight having a small town living, being in a quote-unquote smaller town right outside of Lubbock. You really do get a feel for everybody, you do get to meet everybody, and you do really have that community feel if you're looking for that. Another advantage why people are moving here as well too is if you are commuting from New Mexico, it is on the west side of town, so it is a little bit closer for your commute. So a lot of people do like that. Also too, if you work on the west side, it's closer. But if you're working maybe like in Slayton or Snyder, which is on the east side of Lubbock, you're more so going to want to be in the Cooper ISD or on the east side of Lubbock. And so that's going to be really your main differences between the two, Cooper and Friendship. One's going to be on the west side, and so if you are commuting, it would be a lot easier for you and your family to commute. Okay, so we are now driving in Wolfforth on 82nd Street. Right over here to my left, you can see the high school football field, and we're also approaching the Wolfforth water tower. You can see from everywhere, and you know you're in Wolfforth when all the signs are blue. Everything in Wolfforth is all about the Friendship Tigers, and that's their mascot here in Friendship. And on to my left is the Friendship High School. So a lot of stuff is going on 82nd. There's also Bennett Elementary off of 82nd. So 82nd really does take you anywhere you need to go in the 3-mile radius of Wolfforth. And it also goes into Lubbock as well. So as we approach, we're gonna also kind of go into some of the neighborhoods that are off of 82nd Street that are going to be East Wolfforth, that are kind of bordering the Lubbock-Wolfforth border. That is where all of the growth is happening right now. And so one of the disadvantages or advantages, depending on how you look at it, is we all know that Texas has higher property tax rates. Now, with that being said, we don't have state income tax, but Friendship is going to be the highest property tax rate in the city of Lubbock and in the Wolfforth area. As I mentioned, West Lubbock is also zoned to Wolfforth, or Friendship, excuse me, so you're paying the Friendship taxes if you're going to Friendship. Now the Friendship taxes you can expect they're around 2.75% to 2.7%, give or take. It just really depends. But that's generally where you can expect the taxes to be. So if you don't have any kiddos going to school, or you don't really care to be in the Friendship ISD, Wolfforth might not be the place for you. There's also, there's tons of other places, of course, too, tons of other neighborhoods, but Wolfforth might not be it if you're not looking for higher tax rates because of the schools. But as we enter, we are driving in, and excuse these bumps, they're very large bumps, but we just wanted to drive you into a couple of different neighborhoods here in the Wolfforth area. Some of popular neighborhoods that I may have talked about before. You can see to my left, and that they're not going to be your ginormous homes. These are going to be your standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage homes, around 1,300, 1,500, 1,600 square feet. And that's going to be like your Preston Smith area, Preston Hollow kind of type of homes. And then we enter into, it's literally like a division right here. We're now entering into Preston Manor. Now, Preston Manor, I've talked about before, those are going to be your higher end homes. Those are going to be your homes that are going to be up to the millions. There are some beautiful homes that are being built right now. We're just driving around. They're absolutely stunning. But just to kind of show you the differences between the neighborhoods, you will be able to afford, around $250,000 homes all the way up to $1 million in this specific little range or radius of neighborhoods right here. They're all kind of interconnected, all beginning with the name Preston. And so I also wanted to mention really just the average price point of homes here in the Wolfforth area. So since all of the homes that are on the market right now are going to be built between 2015 and 2023, which shows you the growth that's happening here. Now, there are existing neighborhoods that were built in the 70s and 80s, but honestly, there's not any for sale right now, and I don't want to take you and waste time going over there because there's not a ton of turnover, and so really the majority of the homes that why people are moving here are going to be built from 2015 and newer, and that is the appeal of Wolfforth, or this area, I should say. And so your average price point is actually $325,000 for the city of Wolfforth. Now, that's because of all of the new construction that's happening. Majority of the homes on the market, like I mentioned, were built in 2015, but even from 2020 to 2023, there's so many new neighborhoods coming up in this area and I'll drive you around to a few as well too, so you can kind of see the differences. But there's just so much growth happening in this area and on the western part of Lubbock, or the eastern border of Wolfforth, and so that's why you see that higher price point of that $325,000. And so what we'll do is, if there's also existing homes, I mean, there's some beautiful homes in Llano Estacado. They're especially right behind me or right to my left. This is the main road to get to Upland, but there is existing homes, but there's just tons of new growth as well too. So we're going to go to another neighborhood, drive you around, and you can see some of the newer schools as well, and then also what you can afford for around $250,000, because that is affordable here in Wolfforth. You just have to go a little bit further north. Okay, so we are on Upland, heading to Upland Crossing, which is another neighborhood. But as you can see, really around me, it's not like when you drive to these different areas of town that it's going to be very populated, that there is homes everywhere. You're still going to have undeveloped land, which is just part of Lubbock. I think it's beautiful, but eventually, it will all be developed. But I just wanted to show you kind of what the drive looks like between the neighborhoods. Upland is going to be the main road taking you between the loop where we just were and into North Wolfforth. North Wolfforth also has some of those existing homes that were built in the late 90s as well too. So you can find a lot of those. It's just, again, there's not a ton of turnover in some of these neighborhoods. So I don't necessarily want to show you some of these homes that won't be available, but also too wanted to let you know that there is existing brick homes in and around this area. And then right over here, about a mile west of me, is where we just were, where Evie Mae's was and everything. So it's kind of just a full circle. I mean, like I mentioned, it's only 3 miles, so it's not, you don't go very far to get to anything here. But we're also going to be on my right hand side. We're also going to be passing the intersection of 34th Street. Now, 34th Street will take you all the way into quote unquote Lubbock, and that will be where Costco is. That will be where Cabela's, let's see what else, like Torchy's, Pie 5, P.F. Chang's. It's our West End shopping center, and it is relatively close. It's not very far from Wolfforth. It just seems very far because everything is a little bit more spread out than it would be in like a bigger city. So right off of Upland, we have Upland Crossing. As you can see, Lubbock likes to reuse the names of a lot of things. We have a lot of Prestons, a lot of Terra Vistas, a lot of Uplands. So it's really easy to kind of, or confusing, I guess it depends on how you look at it. But Upland Crossing is a newer neighborhood. It is all built by the same builder here in town. You can obviously probably see that by the homes. They all look very, very similar. But these are going to be like your starter homes. So if you're not wanting to spend a fortune on some of those homes that are existing, or in Preston Manor, Preston Hollow, or just some of the other neighborhoods in Wolfforth, then this is a great starter home area of around 200 to 250. Majority of the homes are going to be 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, with the occasional 4-bedroom thrown in here. But for the most part, just your pretty basic standard open concept, granite countertops, just affordable home. So there is affordability in this area if you are looking to move to Friendship ISD in Wolfforth. Okay, so at the end of our tour, we had to stop at Happy's. Happy's is a snow cone place here in Lubbock. I don't know if it's local or if it's a franchise or not, but it is so good, especially on this cold day. Nothing better than a cold snow cone. But there's not really many sights to see here in Wolfforth. I really took y'all to Evie Mae's. That's the biggest sightseeing or eatery in Wolfforth area. And then we came to Happy's. They have them in Lubbock as well too. But really, just driving through, it's just growing neighborhood-wise and then just school-wise. Right now we're off of 82nd. Right in front of me is the Friendship High School that we just drove by a couple earlier. And then right over there is a restaurant called Elotes, which is a really, really good Mexican restaurant. So really a lot of the growth and a lot of the things to do is going to be in Lubbock. And it's not like if you go down 82nd, you're going to be right in Lubbock off of Milwaukee. So that's where everything's going to be. So there's not really much to see or to do in Wolfforth, but there is some great opportunities for housing and also school district wise. So if you have any questions about the Wolfforth area or about Lubbock in general, we'd love to help answer those. And then if also you like this video, make sure you tap and subscribe so that you can be the first to know about all things happening in Lubbock, in and around Lubbock, Texas. And until next time, we'll see you around.